Hello, everyone. In today's message, I want to speak about something that often goes unnoticed, but that defines much of what Ukraine is now fighting for. It's not only about land or sovereignty, it's about our memory, about our culture, and about our identity. For centuries, Ukraine has endured a specific form of violence. It was the erasure and appropriation of its cultural heritage. This wasn't incidental, it was deliberate, systemic, and devastating. And let's begin from erasure. In the 1920s and 1930s, Ukraine experienced a cultural renaissance. Writers, filmmakers, painters, composers, you can see them on your screen right now. They flourished. They were creating art that blended modernism with deep Ukrainian roots. But this awakening was seen as a threat by the Soviet regime. In 1937 alone, during what we call now the executed Renaissance, dozens of Ukrainian brightest intellectuals were arrested, tortured, and executed. Their names were blacklisted, their works banned, and their families were persecuted. This was a cultural genocide. Names like Mykola Zerov, Lесь Kurbas, Valerian Podmohilny, they were once the pulse of Ukrainian culture, and they were silenced. Here you can see me as a newborn in 1984. Yes, it was not so long ago, 80s. And alongside, while my grandma were holding me as the child, nearby you can see the image of our brilliant Ukrainian poet whose rhymes and poems are really astonishing and touching the heart. This writer was in prison and he died in 1985. So it was not as far as long ago as we can see now. And nowadays, this executed Renaissance, it seems like coming back, because here you can see the people who are the writers, the poets, actors, filmmakers that has already died during current war against Ukraine and Russia. Those brilliant people who wrote children books, who created stories, novels, there now seems like their previous poets and writers, they were also gone, and it also because of our neighbor country. Here you can see the youngest poet, 𝐀𝐫𝐚𝐬𝐿 Krivtsov, and some of the rhymes of his poetry. He took the cat that was like pastry and said, "Cat, we need to go. War cold like ice came to us like morning, like life, like illness. The lesson called quiet life is over." Unfortunately, this man is also in the heaven right now. And yet the tragedy didn't stop and aren't stopped right now with the destruction. Alongside the erasure came appropriation. Many of the Ukrainian-born cultural features were absorbed into so-called Russian cultural canon. The message was Ukraine doesn't exist, only Russia does. And let me give you just a few examples. Kazimir Malevich, the creator of suprematism, was born in Kiev. Ivana Ivazovsky, whose seascapes you may know, was born in Crimea, Ukrainian Crimea. Ilya Repin, one of the most celebrated painters of the 19th century, was born in Chuguyev, eastern Ukraine. 𝐼𝐝𝐞𝐧𝐿, a master of light and landscape, was born in Mariupol. Even Mykola Gogol, a literary icon, infused all his works with Ukrainian humor, folklore, and rhyme. Yet for generations, these names were branded Russian. Even those pictures, they were depicted and named as Russian dance. But even now, they're recalled as Ukrainian dancers by the famous painter Degas. So in textbooks, museums, international exhibitions, now the truth is revealing. And that wasn't just a misunderstanding or a misspelling. It was a direct colonial tactic to overwrite one people's cultural legacy and replace it with another's on the worldwide level, as you can see, this level, to erase the existence of the nation by stealing its voice. And today Ukraine is reclaiming its past, even in spite of constant bombing. In the midst of war, we are rediscovering who we are and who we have always been. Because culture is not just a memory, it's a form and method of resistance and survival nowadays for us. And at the time, the world see and honor the truth. Thank you.